What's good, everybody? AB Media 83 here. And today I asked the question, why y'all mad at Miss Pearly? For those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, just Pearly things. Why y'all mad at that white woman? What she do to y'all? No, I have a serious question. What did just Pearly do to y'all in the Black Manosphere? I'm particularly talking to the Black Manosphere. Why y'all whining about just Pearly? Now, there's a multitude of reasons why people are talking about this. Some people have allegedly called her the woman king of the Black Manosphere. Now, I just want y'all to stop and think about this for a second. Woman, king. Woman, king. Those two words don't go together. Woman, queen goes together. Woman, king doesn't go together. Man, king goes together. Woman, queen goes together. Not woman, king. But some people are calling just Pearly Things the woman king of the manosphere. And I find this funny because she never claimed to be part of the Black Manosphere, nor does she need to. And now, to be perfectly honest with you, I never, I never even heard of Just Pearly till last week when she did this interview with Hafiz. And no, actually, I'm not going to necessarily talk about that interview with Hafiz. In fact, here's all that needs to be said, and how she made Hafiz look like a fool. But here's all that needs to be said about Hafiz, pretty much. Get the message? That's all that needs to be said about Hafiz. Anyway, I just find it funny that all y'all, some of y'all are in your feelings about just Pearly, and she doesn't even claim the Black Manosphere. Now she has a lot of Manosphere talking points. When I say Manosphere, I'm talking about normal Manosphere talking points, and I happen to agree with some of them. And as I said, until last week, I didn't know who Just Pearly was. But somehow she's not. But somehow some people are going around saying that she's the woman king of the Black Manosphere, and that somehow we swore our allegiance to Just Pearly because she trashed a simp in her. She made a simp look bad. Somehow we're worshiping at the feet of Just Pearly somehow. Okay, keep telling yourself that lie. As I said, I didn't even know who Just Pearly was until last week. But somehow we're all simping for Just Pearly now. Lord, G Backs ain't got nothing to do you? Are your lies that pathetic? And again, let me state this. Let me say this again. I am not accusing Just Pearly of being part of the Black Manosphere and she's never claimed she's been a part of the Black Manosphere. Now she's been invited to some people that are allegedly in the Black Manosphere, but those are those brothers' business. I don't see any problem with that. But anyway, since y'all so worried about Just Pearly, I decided I would take a look at one of her videos and analyze one of her videos. And just give me a second here. The name of the video I'm going to analyze. As I pull it up, got got a little playlist here. Give me a second. All right. But anyway, I looked at one of her videos and I found this video interesting, and I'm going to do some commentary on it. Let's see, go playlist, and here we go. All right, give me a second. I'm gonna share my screen. I'm gonna analyze one of Just Pearly's videos since y'all so worried about Just Pearly, and it's called "How Good Men Are Tricked to Marry 304s." Yeah, a lot of good men are tricked to marry 304s. Paul George. Oops, did I say that out loud? A lot of good men are tricked into marrying 304s. Hey, what's good? Hope I'm pronouncing your name right. Electrician 480. Good to have you. Now let me share my screen. Let's see. Present. Share screen. And there we go. There we go. And y'all should be able to hear this.
I have a whole theory. I don't know if I should say that. I have a whole theory that like the church is actually like a homemaker, and like.
Yep, the church is a homemaker. Say what you want about Just Pearly. She's not lying about that. The church nowadays is a homemaker. And yeah, I did say that. The church nowadays is a homemaker, and there's not much you can do about it. Let's continue.
It's actually like a breeding ground for hoes. And
Let the church say amen. The church nowadays is a breeding ground for hoes. Not all churches, but a lot of churches are just breeding ground for hoes.
I'll tell you why, okay? Because it's like what they'll do is they'll have these chastities. And I remember being in high school because I've always been me, I've always kind of like thought the way I do, but I was just like a young pearl in high school. And we had this chastity speaker. And I was thinking, like, basically she went up and she said, I got ran through, but then I found God, praise God. And then the husband was like,
so yeah, yeah. So if you're not paying attention to the context, hoes just ain't in the black church. There are plenty of hoes in the white church too. Yeah, I said it. So I believe her. And you just heard, and let's
and then
rewind that.
Okay, because it's like what they'll do is they'll have these chastities. And I remember being in high school because I've always been me, I've always kind of like thought the way I do, but I was just like a young pearl in high school. And we had this chastity speaker. And I was thinking, like, basically she went up and she said, I got ran through, but then I found God, praise God. And then the husband was like, oh yeah, and I found her after this, and like I was a virgin and I waited, and and I realized I was like, it's always the women who didn't wait. And I'm like, oh.
Yep, it be like that in the church nowadays. She's not lying about that. Now, I'm sure there's some wannabe Christians out there that's gonna get mad at me for posting this, but Just Pearly's not lying about this.
It's like they're kind of marketing. You can be a hoe and then find a husband. Like it's like a marketing like scam. I don't think they mean to, but I'm like, oh, it's like that's what they're marketing.
Nah, Just Pearly nowadays they mean to.
To young women, and I remember like wanting to like ask this question. But Catholic school couldn't handle me.
But you're saying that.
And so then it's like on top of that, the pastors have this reputation for screwing the congregation, right? That's like yeah, that's like.
Mm-hmm. Well, let the church say amen. Let the church say amen. Let the church say amen.
That's a common thing, I guess.
That's more of an American thing, though.
It wasn't. I've heard it here. I've heard it in both places. And I'm like, why is there this stereotype? They must do it a lot, right? Mm-hmm. Justin Bieber's like priest or whatever pastor came out, and I'm like, no wonder they preach forgiveness because he wants to screw all the hoes.
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much.
And so what he's saying is all of you guys can wait. I'm going to screw them and add to the bodies, and then.
Yeah, pretty much. That's what a lot of these preachers are doing nowadays. Now, full disclosure, I'm still in the church. I'm not in the church looking for hoes. And there probably are some hoes in the church I'm at, but I don't know where they at. But I ain't looking for them. I don't go to church to look for hoes. I go to church to look for spiritual guidance. Guidance. I don't go to church to look for hoes. Just saying.
You guys can all marry him after I'm done.
Yeah, that's my kind of preacher stuff.
And that's why I have this theory that like
now just Pearly. Don't talk about Creflo Dollar like that. I'm just saying.
A church is really like that's why the guys will all tell me the girls are worse in the church, and I'm like, why would they be worse? Because
yes, they are. Some of the nastiest hoes I ever seen at somebody's church. I've seen it firsthand. It is what it is.
They basically market that you can be a hoe forever and then get a husband at the end, and so then all the
Yep, that's what the church advertises now. It is what it is. Then people, black churches wonder why black men ain't in the church. Pay attention.
hoes go.
So you're saying it's a whole shelter. So it's a whole shelter.
Yeah.
It's a whole shelter, yeah.
Can I
go
say
ahead.
something? I want to ask everybody: have you ever seen how the women? I'm going to say black women because white women don't just.
For those of you just coming in, hit the like button.
Share,
subscribe.
Have you ever seen the black women go?
Also hit the cash app.
I don't get involved
Support
enough
the
about
channel.
women.
I ever see the black woman go to church, right? How she dresses.
What?
How much cleavage she shows.
What?
How much heels
What you
how the makeup.
All I have to say about black women who dress a certain way at church is, oh, use a hoe. Use a hoe. I said that use a.
What you
And the hair.
What you
How she can walk up and whine better in church than if she was in a rave.
I'm not gonna lie. I've
church is
drive
it?
past a church going football
see
on
them?
a Sunday morning.
Some
yeah,
of them women
I've
looking
nearly
banging
crashed
still.
my car.
Seriously.
I'm like, where's all these girls going? Like it's Sunday morning.
They
You're seeing a
look like
bag
they
of
just come
girls
back from
short
a
skirt.
rave.
Well, she just call you first.
No,
you know.
but hear what I'm saying. Sunday morning.
Snitch.
Sunday morning. I heard it. But Sunday morning, you're going football. Like you still got sleep in your eye. Like, you're seeing a herd of beautiful women.
And they don't look like they're going to
Like-
church.
Oh, just a side note. Church hoes aren't new. I got stories from my grandmother's generation about church hoes. So, any of you older folks that watch this video acting like church hoes is something new, stop the cap. Church hoes are not new. Church hoes have been in the church for a very long time.
They look
you
like
know,
they're just
skip
coming
for
back from
that.
a
I'm
rave.
saying,
innit?
where they must have come back from Brixton Mass, not going to Brixton Mass.
And the
Must be
women dress like
from
that
the night before.
to get the men. And 9 times
Of
out of
course.
10,
What up, good brother?
those
Art?
women in church get run through by the men that are visiting
Yes,
because they got a habit of
And the
bringing
yes. This is true. Especially in the big mega churches, this is very true.
in the
and the
men,
mother and the
bringing
mothers
in
and
their
the
men.
mothers
And the pastor.
don't forget
And
the
the
mothers, you know,
pastors.
because the mothers,
Carl, stop.
will
You're cracking
encourage
me up.
them to look your best, your Sunday best.
You know the worst
Look
thing about
your
it is as a
best
young
for
man.
church.
'Cause when
You
you
ever
look
been to
at-
church as a young man and an old woman
Imagine-
dressed you with her eyes?
Imagine if the pastors came forward, okay? Imagine if they said, okay, like because they'll say you could be saved, right? Like the hoes, they'll be like, hoes, come to church. I mean, they don't say it like that. So they basically say, hoes, come to church because you can be forgiven for everything.
Shelter.
Imagine if they said, men, don't accept that. Don't you like wait for the next round of women.
The church would be bankrupt overnight. Yeah, I said it. If a preacher came out and said that, the church would literally be bankrupt overnight.
But there's
Leave
not
them.
men in church,
Right,
innit? So
right.
they will, innit?
What?
I believe
No,
loads of geeks in
No,
church.
but
though.
I'm saying no, you're right. You're right. That's why there aren't a lot of guys in general. Walk into any church, it's 70 to 80% women. But just imagine if they flipped it and they said, don't accept that, for like the same way they'll tell men, and I'm trying to articulate this right, but the same way they'll tell women, like, your husband should be this, he should be equally yoked, a man of God, blah, 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 blah.
Yep.
But it's like they don't say to the men, don't date these ran through girls. Don't do it. You don't deserve that. You deserve better. You should date this, and this. Like it's all
No, they don't. They'll hand you the hoe and treat her like she's a virgin, and tell you to treat her like she's a virgin. Me, I ain't gonna do it. Now, shout out to my pastor. He's never pulled that game on me. Probably doesn't have to pull that game on me. He's married, has children, has grandchildren.
always what the women should expect from a husband.
You know what? Because the
And-
men that go to church have less body count than the women that go to church.
That's yeah, I know, but I think
Sad
that's
but true.
why though, because the
The
men that actually
expectation's different.
understand female nature, they think this
Yeah.
is nonsense. It's all the simps that are
I
in the
think they're
church.
Is it-
trying to
is it
sell
a
a pig
case-
in a bag.
Is
What?
it,
I think they're trying to
is
sell
it-
a
is it
pig
a
in a
case
bag. I
that-
think they're saying, do you know what? We got all these women that are all whores and we don't know what to do. So you know what? We got to make some way. Like, man, they're really nice. They're Christians and that. You take them. Because nobody outside church is going to want them, so they might as well take the ones that are in
No,
church.
I think they want to keep the women single in the church because they have to make money off of them. Like each.
Yep, pretty much. Yes, that's true.
Each girl gives how much a week, and like that's the thing. It's kind of like it's weird because they ask for donations, but when there's more single homeless women over the age of like that's the fastest growing.
Again, just Pearly. Stop talking about Creflo Dollar like that.
Homeless population
You know
is single women, and so if they're giving like $100 a week, let's say that's $400 a month. Times that by a year, that's a retirement account. Go ahead.
Similar. I don't want to say it, but similar to a club environment. The more attractive women you attract to this club,
the more
willing with their hand open men to table bottles is gonna.
Who's got more money, men or the women?
Right.
So the men are gonna come and spend their money.
The men put notes in the charity box.
Because here what it is, like when you're young as well, when you're young, it's like you're not necessarily just going to your local church. You're going to the popular church, the church that's popping.
Yeah.
That's got that young, good-looking environment. That's
that's where most of the hoes are at, pretty much. Sad to say, but it's true. I go to a small church on purpose. I don't like going to big churches, especially if they have an ATM machine in the church.
the one you're going, and you're going there in your best. You're waking up early Sunday morning in your drip, like what? Yo.
But even in the church, like I remember being in, and I've always been me, so I've always had these thoughts. But I remember being like younger, and they would say, make a list of the things you want in your future husband. And I'm like, why don't they say that to the men?
Because there's no money in that.
Make a list of what you want in your future wife. But the problem is none of the girls in the congregation can meet that.
So basically, all these women just going to church to find the good guys because they're tired of all the bad boys.
That's not true.
I think that's like the common response. But a lot of times the girls go, and this is I hear it from guys that it's 28, 29, 30, right when time's running out is when they tend to go to church. And if they do get to church young, they leave right when they get to college.
Yep. You ain't gonna find too many men in the church nowadays. I'm still in there, but for the most part, for the majority of churches, you're not gonna find too many men in the church nowadays. They know what the hustle is.
And so it's like,
but that's your church. In my church, we have so many young people.
I'm not talking about my church. I'm talking about general feedback. I wouldn't even say I'm crazy religious, but I'm saying that's general feedback I've just gotten from men. Like their experience, like different churches, same experience.
Yep.
Wow, those are mad churches because my church ain't that. I've seen so many churches with young people. I don't know. Like, show me. I need to see the evidence in it.
I think you haven't dealt. Who said their church ain't like that?
My church ain't like
that. Listen, someone in your church, someone from your church, a gal is busting up with a man right now from your church.
100%.
Well, maybe because human beings are attracted to one another and have sex, but they're not going to church.
He lied.
That's not the reason they're going to church.
That's not the reason
I mean, that's not the reason they're going to church. Listen, didn't you say they're going to church to get husband and all that bollocks?
That's not the only reason people go to church. That's not the reason I get to church. The Lord. That's why most people go to church.
You could do that for your yard. You could do that with your Bible.
But no.
And just for a side note, let me let you in. Let me let y'all in on something. Some of the hoes in the church are married, and they still hoeing. Let me say that again for the Negroes didn't hear me in the back. Some of them hoes in the church are married and are still hoeing. There are certain married women that I just will not talk to because I know they own some. I know they own some hoe shit. Sorry, I'm reading a comment. Yes, the church is falling apart. It's sad, but it is falling apart, unfortunately. Because women can only prop up your church for so long. Eventually, you're gonna need some men support. Probably one of the reasons why the church is still standing. But a lot of churches are going bankrupt and falling apart.
No, people don't. Not everyone believes that. I'm not saying.
Can I just say, on the topic of going to church and making it all about like relationships and stuff, when I went to church, I recently found God properly and started going to church and stuff, and it had nothing to do with no man, no relationship. It was because I was dealing with my own internal traumas, and God was my backbone. God was my safe place. So I wanted to explore
was
it
it
more
FT?
and expand it.
What type of trauma was it? Was it the FT?
No, it wasn't. I don't know what that is.
The funny trauma.
No, yeah. See, Auntie, look what you done.
just a side note: if you can't hear it in an accident, some of these folks are clearly from the UK, and just Pearly does a show based off out of the UK.
No, not the FT.
No FT, no comment.
No, there was no FT. It was like just emotional trauma for bad events, right?
You see, that's what I'm telling you. You guys go there to see comfort.
You know? No, but we go there to see comfort from Christ. And I feel like I went, my last point, and then I'll stop, is that I feel like for me, it's because I had emotional trauma. I was learning more about God at home. And I wanted to go to church more because I wanted to learn more from people who have spent years studying it, preaching it, mastering it, that sort of stuff. So my point is, I'm just saying it ain't always about this sexualization or of women going to church off the back of bad relationships, because not every woman is doing that.
You might not say it's not all women. I agree with you. It's just funny when women always seem to come after a hoe phase. That's just what I've heard from the men. It's just interesting.
Pretty much.
How right after the hoe phase, now you're here.
Personally, I went to church when I was younger. And my dad made me go, and I went and I had a good time. And then as I got older, I kind of dropped it out, and I went for a time in my life in 2013. And I feel like a lot of people speak to God when they're balls deep in the shit, or when they need a bit of guidance or need a bit of help. Not like, oh God, I'm doing good and X, Y, Z. I feel like back then I looked to God to help me in a situation, and God told me that the outcome that I wanted to happen ain't gonna happen. And guess what? It never happened. God was right. And from then I said, you know what? There is someone up there. I'm not crazy. So I am a Christian, and from a young age, my dad wanted me to be a Christian, but I feel like I find that space within myself, and I don't go to church, but I'm still a Christian. And I didn't go to church to find dick. I was like 10 or something. Do you know what I mean?
Go there now.
As many of you know, I was just banned on TikTok, and we are demonetized on a daily basis on this platform. If you want to help, please consider sending a super thanks below. Every donation helps, and it helps make what we do possible.
Yeah, I can believe she's banned on TikTok. All right, let me stop sharing my screen. So, I'll ask the question again. Why y'all mad at just Pearly? What did she do to y'all? She's just telling the truth about the stuff she's observed and the stuff she's heard from other people. What's the big deal? But I don't understand why just Pearly is such a big deal. No one in the black manosphere, no one really in the black manosphere has hailed just Pearly as the so-called woman king. Again, as I said at the beginning of this broadcast, woman and king don't go together. Woman and queen go together. Woman and king don't go together. Man and king go together. Woman and queen go together. Woman and king do not go together. Just saying. Now, if anybody wants to come up, there's a link. But I don't understand why dudes are tripping about just Pearly. She's technically not in the black manosphere. If black men want to support her, that's perfectly fine. That's their business. I don't have a problem with it. I actually just subscribed to just Pearly. If you don't like it, you can go kick rocks. I think she has some decent content. And from my understanding, she started out covering Kevin Samuels videos. Because, well, I take that back. I do understand why they're mad at just Pearly. One of the reasons they're probably mad at just Pearly is because I believe she's on record of saying she dates black men. Hey, once again, that's her business. I don't have a problem with it. Date who you want. If a black man wants to date just Pearly, I have no issue with it. She's 6 feet tall. One date just Pearly, that I have no problem with it. I'm not on this. You need to date a sister. Why? Why would I tell a brother to go date a sister when they treat us like shit? Why would I tell a brother to go date a sister when only 10% of boys can read at a proper level? but they have the majority of the children. Oh, not to mention the fact that most of your kids nowadays are raised in single parent households with single mothers, and only 10% of your boys can read at a 8th grade level, the average level. But we're supposed to just suck it up, get a sister, vote for the Democrat Party. Why? Why? No one can answer that. Anyway, that's all I really wanted. I just wanted to analyze that video because just Pearly told the truth about the church. There are a lot of hoes in the church. There'll be some hoes in the church, hoes in the church, some hoes in the church. That's why I did that video. In fact, I think, you know what? I'm going to play that video. That's why I did that video about Beyonce and the church girl. That's specifically why I did that specific video, because I know there are plenty that everybody mad at Beyonce too, but about this video about the church girl. Let me hold on, wait a minute. Let me pull up that video. All right, where'd I put that video? Let's see. Oh, she out. Just a minute. Now this is kind of long, but I'm gonna play it anyway. All right, let me reshare my screen. I think that's the right video. Yep, that is the right video. All right. But talking about church folk and their bullshit, let's watch this video I did a while back.
AB Media 83 here today. We're talking about Beyonce and how she's pissed off the church. So for those of you,
all right, folks, I'm about to shut this stream down. I'd like to thank everybody for coming. If you like the content you've seen here, hit the Cash App and support the show. This is AB Media 83, and I'm out. Peace. Yo, this is AB Media 83. Want to support the channel? Hit the Cash App. Also, be sure to like, share, and subscribe to the video. Also, be sure to hit that bell notification so you can be notified the next time I upload a live stream or video. And always remember, keep it grinding, keep it pushing, keep it moving. This is AB Media 83, and I'm out. Peace.